All right, so today what I want to talk about is something that's very prevalent in academia right now, in education right now, and we just can't stop it, right? We just can't stop it. And that is AI. We're going to talk about AI from my perspective, my experiences with AI in my classrooms that I've been in over the past years that I've worked. I've been teaching, I've been an educator for at least 15, 16, 17 years, close to 20 years as an educator. And so I have seen the rise of AI and its usage in the classroom. And so I'm going to just speak about my experience with it, where I come down on it, whether I support it or not, and what I think the future is as it relates to AI and education. All right, so if you look at this graph right here, right, let's say most popular AI apps worldwide by monthly active users as of April 2025, and of course everybody knows the popular one, ChatGPT. So ChatGPT is number one by a long stretch, by a long margin, right? So we're talking about 500 million people, worldwide usage. All right, look at that. Monthly active users, ChatGPT from OpenAI, that's the company that developed ChatGPT. And we're talking about 547.15 million monthly active users. So I'm pretty sure some of you guys out there are part of that statistic, are part of that number. But what I want to say is that AI has its pros, has its cons. So look at some of the problems I have with AI, what I've seen over the years of my teaching. So, for one thing, AI doesn't strengthen your critical thinking. It impairs your critical thinking. Because when you use AIs as a crutch, then you do not give your brain that exercise that it needs to help it to grow in a variety of ways. Because if you can simply go online and type something, a query, and come down with an answer without even thinking, the only thought you put into it is sometimes the query. And then sometimes the query is not even all that. Sometimes the query isn't even all that, right? And so you realize that doesn't stretch your brain capacity, doesn't stretch your brain power. And so you lack the ability now as an adult to think critically. Because what would happen now is that you are going to start losing, I've seen it, where you start losing faith in your own intellect. As a student, you'll be like, okay, I did something, and you get anxious, like, is it right? Is it right? I don't know if it's right. Put it in ChatGPT, or whichever one you choose to put it in, and you feel a little more comfortable if they return something like that. But that's not what we want. We don't want that for our students. We don't want them to feel as though ChatGPT or AI is the way to go totally, right? Because it reduces your critical thinking, and you need that. That is what AI doesn't give to you, the ability to think critically. Because AI doesn't really give you all that nuance that you might need to solve a problem, right? It might give you something else. And so that's one problem I've seen with it. The reduction in critical thinking from my students, from students in general. You feel as though you rely too heavily on AI. Our next problem I've seen, right, I really don't like, right? Sometimes you have a student and you know them so well. You give them class assignments, you give them, write an essay, write this, write that. And they would give you something. You read it and you're like, okay, I understand, that's them, that's that student. Sometimes they don't even have to put the name on the paper because you understand where they're coming from. You understand their style, if you want to put it like that, of writing. When you rely too heavily on AI, you as an individual, you fail to develop your own style of writing, your own way of putting words together, your own flair, right? Your vocabulary actually begins to diminish because you're not really putting in that extra effort. And so what we have seen over time is that you give a question, everybody got the same vanilla answer because everybody put it in AI. So everybody got the same vanilla answer, the very, very same thing. So everybody becomes the same. So there's nothing special about you, right? There's a reason why some authors are bestsellers and some are not, because of that writing flair, that writing style. Some might lean heavily on certain nouns and pronouns and certain literary devices and certain, metaphors, simile, onomatopoeia, hyperbole, whatever. Some might lean more to that than others. And so you might develop your own writing style because of that. But with AI, you put it in, you spit it out, and everybody else got the same thing. Right? That's one of the reasons I use AI in my classroom I personally check, if I have a question, I put it in to see what the answer to expect from those who use AI. Right? So as a next downfall, because you fail to develop your own writer's flair, your own artistic flair. You become very vanilla, very samey. You lose the ability to conduct proper research. Right? You lose the ability to conduct proper research when you rely too heavily on AI. Because all you have to do is just put in a query and get back to it. That's not research. Now in research you have to go and actually formulate your thesis, formulate the sentence, try to find information around that particular thesis statement. And you're going to come across so many different articles. And so you have to use your mind, your knowledge, your understanding. Okay, this article, I don't want that one. This one, yes. So you're able to more appreciate research and the effort that goes into writing a paper. If you're able to go through the actual steps yourself, you're able to conduct the research yourself. So do not skim out on research, doing your own research. I'm not talking about a little Google type in and that's it. A lot of people are like, I did my own research. All I did was type in something in Google and that's it. No, I'm talking about finding peer-reviewed PDFs, finding articles from journals, from highly reputable sources. That's what I'm talking about. Back in the day, the person used to give Wikipedia as a source. As a teacher, we never really appreciate that, right? So when it comes to AI now, there's no research going on. You just spit it in, you spit out something, and you don't understand that concept of research. You lose the appreciation. You don't know how to sift through a bad source from a good source, because AI sometimes makes up their own sources, as we saw with in America where RFK did his health document, and there were a lot of fake sources in there. AI can what they call hallucinate and bring wrong answers and stuff like that. So you as a human can be able to see and say, okay, no, that's a source that's not reputable. Maybe something that's on Reddit or something that bubble up to the top with a lot of fake things, conspiracy, and because it's so used over and over, you might think as a source, right? But no, right? So that's the next downside. You don't appreciate that research aspect. Of course, again, plagiarism. When you go to university and you write people's words and don't cite them properly, you don't cite the resources, that comes down to plagiarism. Now, AI in itself, well, right now there's a big debate as to whether it is plagiarism or not, because you know how AI get the information. They go and scrape the internet of information that's already out there, people's work. And so if you just copy and paste whatever the AI spits out, then those are not your words, first and foremost. And then you're at risk now for plagiarism. You put that in something like a Turnitin or something, you get all red. No problems. You just did not bring an original thought. So imagine that you're writing a paper, and they say, and none of the thoughts or the words belong to you. How empty does that feel to you as an individual, as a student? You can tell me, because I know some people cheat and they don't feel anyway in terms of schoolwork. But sometimes when you know you did something, you didn't put your all, you didn't really exercise your brain to get it done. It feels kind of hollow, right? So hear me now. My view on AI. Enough negative vibes. My view now is that it's a tool, it's here to stay. We can't fight it. It's inevitable, as Thanos said, it's inevitable. Can't fight it. But what I would appreciate though is if students learn how to use it effectively. Many times they give essays and stuff and questions, and students copy and paste the answer from AI, and they keep in the same asterisk, keep in all the other stuff that AI generates. They just wholesale copy and paste. Boom. That is not how we use AI. That's not how we use it. No, AI is a tool, as I said. What you do, you use AI as a tool to build a framework. And then now you personalize or you localize that output from the AI. So if they're asking a question, Yes, you get the framework, and then you build on that with your own knowledge, your own understanding, your own flair, your own writing style. You use it as a framework to build on, like a scaffolding. You use it as a build on. Don't just go wholesale, because that's the problem with AI, right? Don't go wholesale. One of the things people are saying in the future is that a lot of jobs are going to be found in persons who can actually interpret what the AI spits out, not wholesale. You must know the nuances that comes with the answer that the AI gives you. Like, for example, in the Caribbean, and a lot of research isn't done in the Caribbean. So if AI was to take an answer from a question you ask, it's going to globalize it, as opposed to bring it home. So you know how to take that framework and put in your local examples, the personal examples, etc., etc. You have to learn to interpret what the AI spat out and then make it your own. For example, you might have a letter to write, right? Have a letter to write. You can use AI to formulate, frame the letter, and then, personalize that whole thing. Change up this, change up that, take out certain tones, bring it down to your style. I have seen, I kid you not, students use AI to generate a resume, a CV resume, and they keep in the placeholders that the AI spits out. Like, let's say they work at a generic place, a generic store, urbanstore.com or something, or urban store located wherever, and they keep in the generic placeholders. Now, that's where you go in and now dig in and say, okay, that doesn't apply to me. Let me change it up a bit right here. So instead of going wholesale, students, take the AI, put it in the query, and then you are able to now personalize the outcome, localize the outcome, apply it to your particular use case, your particular scenario. Right? So that's one of the things I want them to see. Right? You can use AI for ideation, right? To get ideas, to generate, clues, frameworks, as I said before, to do the mundane task. Even I working in an office, if I want to draft a letter, I use AI, and then I put it in the way it should go, right? Because something you don't want to go through all the rigmaroles, right? Something that's working smarter, right? Not harder. So AI has its place in education, in the classroom, in academia. But the place of AI is not to be copied wholesale. It is to be used as a framework, used to get ideas, used to get an output that you can now take and localize, personalize, bring it down to your particular scenario, as opposed to broad scale, right? So that's just my take on AI in the classroom. I am for it, but it must be used in a proper way. I can't mark an assignment if it's just AI slap, just want it, just coming out, just it. No. You gotta put in yourself, insert yourself in that AI answer. And that's one of the biggest problems you have with students. They do not know how to take what the AI gave them and turn it into something that belongs to them. They want us to bring it wholesale just like that, right? So work on that. The future is AI. We can't fight it, but learn to wield it in a way that puts you head and shoulders above the rest of your colleagues. Because like I said, it makes everybody vanilla, the same. So what differentiates you from someone else? Alright, so that's it for this video on AI. I have a next one I'm planning. That video would be my toolkit, my AI toolkit that I use in my educating the youths. What I use to help me get my work done in a more efficient manner. So I'll drop a video to show my top 3 AI apps that I use to help in my academic journey. Right? Alright, so thanks for watching.